me, it's just been super sustainable. I have a regular cycle. I said to my husband, I was like, how's that possible? How can it just be this? The only thing that I needed to do was to switch to whole foods and understand my cycle and stop like training so hard. So I haven't gained weight, which I thought is exactly what's going to happen when I stop training like that. And now I'm so much kinder to myself, so everyone benefits in my house because I'm not a dragon anymore.
Hey, thank you so much. Really grateful that you're here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's all about just sharing your experience, and we can talk about, is it sustainable?
Okay.
How do you feel these changes made you feel overall?
Okay.
And are there any symptoms that you started with and now they better and changed?
Yeah, I had tried so much stuff. So I had been to a nutritionist, I had been to a doctor, I was like, I have these 55-day cycles if I'm lucky, you know. And I knew something was wrong. I didn't feel well. And then when I did have my cycle, it was horrendous. Like I really felt like I couldn't even work. I had pain, I had, you know, everything. Bad breakouts, like I was just terrible.
Yeah.
So I was desperate. So I went to a doctor. I got put onto a 550 calorie diet a day. And I tried that for about 2 weeks, and I love food. So it was hectic. It was basically a chicken breast with veg at every meal and one boiled egg for breakfast. And I really struggled with that. It affected my hair, my nails, my mood, everything. And so I figured, okay, that's not working. And also my cycle like completely disappeared.
Of course.
I don't know what to do. She gave me your number and I reached out and I thought, okay, maybe third time lucky. You know, let me try a completely different approach.
Yeah.
And you know, I thought you have your period. You know, I grew up in an age where your mom didn't really sit down and tell you this is the phases, this is what happened. You just had your period and you dealt with it, you know, quietly. You didn't tell anyone you were going through hell or anything. And so doing this course was out of my comfort zone. I was like, wow, they're going to ask me questions that you know, it's not what I feel comfortable doing. And I started reading up on everything you're telling me. Wow, I was like, I have about 1% knowledge. And I know that you have your cycle. That's all I knew. I did not know anything about like luteal phase or any of that stuff, how that affects you. You know, going through your cycle, you think you can train hard throughout the month. And then those days where you feel like you just don't have anything, you take it out on yourself. And I realized now, not only from a diet perspective, knowing my body better, I can go, okay, I know that today is not the day I push myself. Today is the day I'm kind to myself. Just that shift has done a huge change in my life.
Wow.
And then going to the diet phase. You know, when you spoke about just eating whole foods, I was like, oh, I've heard this. What's this whole food thing? Like I eat healthy. And just an example was I used to get those little like meatballs from Woolies, not hating on Woolies, but I was like, oh, it's just mince, so how bad can it be? And going to your course, I turned the pack over and I read, I was like, this is not just meat. This is a whole little essay of ingredients that's in these little fricadelle things, you know. And so I started doing that a lot. I started turning the pack around and reading, oh, this is actually, you think it's healthy, but it's not.
Yeah.
And I realized how much stuff I was putting in and how my body was having a hard time processing it. It's going like, what is this? And how I could understand that if I can't read it, the chances are my body can't process it. And I went back to basics. I was like, okay, cool. Go get mince that's free range that you know comes from a good certified butcher, and you make your own meatballs. Have a good portion of veggies, have lots of green veggies, have all this thing. And so I did that. This is crazy. I didn't get my cycle yet, but I feel so good. And then the day came and my cycle approached. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm so excited. Is it because of what I'm doing?
Yes.
And the answer is yes. Because after that I had a very regular cycle. So I went, it was a matter of really doing the work for 2 months, like watching what I'm eating, and not in a way where I felt like the previous time where I felt like I had no joy. There was times where, you know, I had a baby shower and I'd have a champagne or whatever, but I would go, you know what, I'm not going to have the cake now because I don't want to disrupt this. I'm on a roll. I'm very happy because I actually got so excited that I felt good. That feeling just totally overwhelmed me, and I didn't want to have cake. And now I'm at a place where I can have a slice of cake and I can go, okay, cool, back on track tomorrow. Whole foods at the next meal. So yes, it is sustainable. And I mean, the benefits, for me at least, far outweigh the joy of eating whatever I want, because you pay the price. You definitely do. You can deny it, but I mean, there's only so far you can go. So for me, it's just been super sustainable. I have a regular cycle. I said to my husband, I was like, how's that possible? How can it just be this? How can it just be so simple? I have been overcomplicating it, downloading apps, trying different things. I mean, I was swimming in cold water. I mean, that's good for you, but I was absolutely desperate for anything.
I know.
And now, all it was, well, for me at least, the only thing that I needed to do was to switch to whole foods and understand my cycle and stop like training so hard. So I've completely stopped hits, and I haven't gained weight, which I thought is exactly what's going to happen when I stop training like that. And now I'm so much kinder to myself, so everyone benefits in my house, because I'm not a dragon anymore. Obviously, the superficial stuff, like I've got clear skin, I'm like, that didn't bug me. I was like, okay, if I just have a normal cycle, I'll deal with the breakout. I don't mind. But now I've got a normal cycle and I've got clear skin. So, waking up in the morning not being tired, that's a benefit. Small things. I used to wake up and down a big thing of coffee on an empty stomach. I don't do that anymore, because I realized that it didn't serve me. I'm super excited for my daughter to do this course because she's turning 12 next month, and I know she's heading into that phase.
Yes.
So if I could give her the gift of understanding everything that it is about being a woman, and not from a place of like shame or anything, when just to go, know your body, because if you know this body, you know how this machine works, you're free. You're so free. I implement everything that you taught me, and that's why I said earlier, now I am able to shift from I don't want to call it a program because it's like a lifestyle. A little bit more. If I go out for dinner, then I'll go, okay, I'm gonna have some ice cream after this, and it's not the end of the world. And then tomorrow I pick myself back up, And so I don't think it's hard to implement the things that you taught in this course, because it's not hard, because it's just not hard. And also it's not hard because you benefit from it. So when something actually works, you want to keep doing it. It's like I have been trained before this. You touch the stove, you get burned with these diets that you go on and all this stuff, because you want to change, you want to feel good, and you keep going back to them and none of them work. On your course, it was completely different. So it's not like I need to implement it, because all it was is, here's the basics. You've complicated it too much, and just do them, and then you reap the benefits. And why wouldn't you want to, So it's not hard work for me, because I go, okay, cool. I can see now it's actually simple. Do you know what I mean? It's simpler than what I was doing. So this is easier for me than the life that I was living. So I don't want to not implement the things, Simple and rewarding. And I'm like, when I see friends that ask me what I've done, and I'm like, guys, it's it's like, you think that it's complicated, but it doesn't need to be. So but they're on their own journey, and you kind of just hope that they find out that it's actually so simple. It's so simple.
And that's why I love the slogan I always use. Connect to your cycle wisdom. And I can also change that to your body wisdom.
Exactly. It's something that you're actually born with. So when you get to do your course, it's almost like your puzzle piece clicks in, and you're like, oh, I know this knowledge deep in my subconscious, but here it is in an easy program that I can follow, or that I can read and go, oh, this resonates with me. This is so much easier than what I was doing. So it's honestly been a big game changer for me. And to be 33 years old and only find it now, that's the only thing that's upset me. But I'm like, I would have loved to have this when I was like 25. Or even younger. But it's just been incredible.
Thank you so much, Jade. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.